This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 1. This was given to me by one of my viewers named Andrew. Andrew, thank you for this. This thing has surprisingly good video quality and a really nice little stabilizer. Now, my main problem with it is that the field of view is not very wide, so it's kind of like cropped in and you have to really hold the camera out to actually have a wide field of view. But overall, I really like this as a little camera that's really small and stealthy and has decent picture quality. I use it when I go out running a lot of times, and I also use it when we climbed Mount Katahdin, and I gave this to Thomas. It's just a nice little handheld camera you could get a couple shots with. At some point, they released the second version of this, and it had a wider field of view, but I didn't like the image quality. The image quality of the Pocket 1 is actually like kind of good. It has a shallow depth of field, so you actually get some background separation. It's not like a GoPro where the footage just always looks very GoPro-ish. The Pocket 1 just has kind of a nice look to it. Now, when the Pocket 3 came out just a day or two ago, I was very excited because I was hoping the picture quality would be good. And I mean, you can be the judge, but I think the picture quality is pretty good and the field of view is much wider. I also got the bundle that has a little wide angle attachment. And you can make it even wider, but even without the wide angle attachment, it seems plenty wide, and you get this nice background separation. Like if you compare a full-on, full-frame mirrorless camera to the Osmo Pocket 3, obviously the picture quality is going to be better on the mirrorless camera, but for how small and stealthy this device is, you're really getting kind of close, and it looks quite good. So I guess first up, let's give this a nice little run test. It also has this face tracking feature, so even if I'm kind of moving the camera as I'm running, it should be keeping my face in the frame. And then we pull out the Osmo Pocket 1, we can kind of see the difference in picture quality, and I suppose the difference in sound quality as well. So the Pocket 3 is a little bit bigger, but look how much bigger that screen is. Like the screen on the Pocket 1 is really just for identifying what you're shooting, not really looking at what you're shooting. But this screen is bright and beautiful, you can actually see it. And one of my favorite features is to turn it on, all you gotta do is just do this. And hit record. Actually, the difference in startup time is pretty dramatic too. Much faster. So these are both just simple shots of me walking straight forward. It is really kind of amazing how small the Pocket 1 screen is. And I'm just really impressed with the Pocket 3's picture quality. Yeah, so pretty pricey, but man, not bad. Now when I'm vlogging out here holding this giant camera in front of me, it's no big deal because there's no people around to yell at me telling me to stop filming. There's no chance of getting like self-conscious because you've got a big camera in front of your face. But imagine if you want to be discreet in like some sort of city location, just this tiny little camera that you can hold in front of you. And also holding this heavy camera for a long time, it just gets tiring. For these sort of walk and talk shots, what matters a lot more is that you're in focus, your shot is steady, and you can actually hear what you're saying. And with something like this tiny little Osmo Pocket, that fits the bill really nicely. So this could be a great companion where you could do walk and talks like this, and then you see something cool and you're like, oh, okay. You pull out your mirrorless camera, you get the shot, you get another shot, you get the shot on the ground of you walking away. You switch over to your Osmo Pocket, and you can just keep walking and talking. Obviously, you want to go back and get your camera though. You know, this would have been really helpful if it had came out before we went to Japan. I'm no stranger to having to shoot with a big camera, but this was the first time that I vlogged with a full frame camera all the time. And man, a full frame camera with a 20 to 70 lens on it, it's a big difference between a micro four thirds lens with a tiny 12 to 35 on there. Anyway, let's do some exploring and test out this camera a little bit. Oh, that's another good feature is that if you set the camera down and you have it tracking your face, it'll follow you around. So you kind of have a camera operator at all times. And that, when we can get the picture quality from one of these into a device like this. So I'm actually right next to a highway and these cars are pretty loud. I'm kind of curious what the sound quality is like with the built-in microphones. We'll get to hear that, but it also comes with a little wireless microphone. And when you turn it on, it connects really quickly. Okay, I believe it's connected now. And then if I clip this to my shirt, we can kind of hear what the difference in sound quality will be there. I don't actually know, I haven't tested it yet. The wind filter is kind of interesting because it has a little dummy plug that goes into the line in on the top of the microphone. And now I would assume that the wind from me walking forward is being reduced by the wind muff, but don't actually know yet. Now, one obvious disadvantage of this camera is that you only have one field of view. You can't zoom in or zoom out. It's got a digital zoom, so if we see this right here and we're like, oh, let's check it out. That is a 2x zoom. I'm not actually sure if it goes any further than that. The gimbal motion, though, when you're moving around is really nice and smooth. Check that out. You can zoom in, whatever that is. So I don't know, I mean, I could use this potentially as just a camera all by itself. Obviously, the walk and talk shots are very standard, no problem. If you want a B-roll of something, flip the camera around. You can zoom in on it. The gimbal's nice and steady so you can get a static shot. Get a close-up of whatever this is. I can't actually tell if that's in focus or not, though. It does not look like it's. Okay, there we go. I tapped on the screen to get focus. That seems like it's fine. I know we did a little running test earlier. Let's do another one right now. I'm obviously holding the wireless mic right here. This screen is much, much nicer than the original, but also it's still pretty small, so you're gonna be able to see better than on the Pocket 1, but you're still not gonna be able to see that much detail. So one other exciting new feature is that this does 4K 120 frames per second. The slow motion quality on the original Pocket was pretty bad, so I didn't really mess around with it that much. So let's give that a shot. That's all I can really test right now without having actually looked at the footage. But so far, this is very promising. It is a little bit pricey, but I think this can fit in very nicely with the rest of my filming gear. Okay, those were just my initial first impressions. Hopefully that was of some use to somebody. If you're interested, maybe I'll do a more detailed comparison of the Pocket 1 versus the Pocket 3. But suffice it to say, if you're on the Pocket 1, I would say the Pocket 3 is a worthy successor so far. It is a little bit pricey, $520 for just the camera, $670, and then you get the extra battery, the wide angle attachment, and the microphone, which those are pretty useful. But even at $520 for just the camera, I feel like this is a little bit expensive for kind of a limited use case camera, at least for me. Because with the fixed field of view, I feel like it's more of a companion to another camera where you can get some more reach. But for what it is, very good picture quality, nice, small, and stealthy. It can have a lot of use cases. I'm looking forward to trying it out some more. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope this was of some use. See you in the next one.